Hello and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 470. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only Too Fresh Crash. Crash, can you take off your headphones for me real quick?
I got you.
That's an inside joke. You guys are not going to understand it, but who cares? Crash, how are you?
Brilliant.
I'm doing fantastic. We got a throwback episode here. Technically a throwback episode, you know?
A throwback episode?
Yeah. It hasn't been the three of us on a podcast in a minute.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
That's what I meant by throwback, not like
I was like, did something happen? Like, I guess we're talking about remasters and remakes, I guess. So, all right, I'll go with it. And of course, the one and only Mr. Matt P Video. He makes his triumphant return. Hello, Matt.
I have returned. I like that Crash like nostalgically talks about the nostalgically
good old days.
Talks about the good old days before Despawn. The good old days.
It's been a minute since those days, if we're going to be honest.
It's been a while before it's been 3 of us. You're right. I miss Despawn though. Despawn's still here. I miss Despawn, you know.
Despawn's Mr. Consistent. It's weird today, right? Because like I now am recording the show and then I'm like, oh, I need to then upload the show and probably make the thumbnails and do. It's like, yeah, Despawn does a lot for this podcast.
Yeah.
Despawn does a lot. So yeah, shout out Despawn. He's dead.
And
obviously. So I feel bad for him. He's dead.
He's talked about the new job, right? He's talked about the new job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, technically not on the. Let him. Let's do it next week. Let's do it next week. Yeah.
Never mind.
People know that he's got a new job. Like maybe not everyone listening, but
he tweeted it.
Yeah. Like it's not like but I know he wants to go into more detail and stuff like that next week. So yeah, cool. We'll let him. We'll talk about it next week. But yes, Despawn has got a new job. Today was his last day at work, hence why he's not here. I'm super excited for him. Honestly, as somebody again, tangent time for My Xbox and Me as we do. I've always wanted, and I'm not by no way, shape, form am I saying that him doing My Xbox and Me has got him the job with you. I guess it kind of has, I guess in a weird roundabout way, I guess. Weirdly?
Yeah, and like I say, I'll let Despawn say more about it next week and stuff like that. But look, as much as people don't like this fact, some of getting a career is networking, right?
100%.
And so like it helps, that I had people at my company reaching out going, who's this Paul Despawn guy? And is that his real name? And what's he like?
So shout out to him. We'll talk about it next week. But I'm happy to have another person who has gone from being on the podcast to working in the industry. We've had a few come through. A few people have made it now from doing My Xbox and Me. And not saying My Xbox and Me is the reason, but shout out. I'm very, very happy for him. And I'm looking forward to what he's going to be able to produce. But we'll let him talk about it more next week. If you didn't know, this is My Xbox and Me, our weekly podcast right here on youtube.com/My Xbox and Me and all podcast services. Yada, yada, yada. To be honest with you, I think I'm done with the rigmarole. I think I'm officially going to retire it. How many podcasts do you listen to nowadays that do a whole spiel like that anymore? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Most people make podcasts now for clips, so you never really see the intro of the podcast. But I just don't know if it's needed anymore. Like we've been doing this show 470 weeks. By this point, do we need it? Go support the YouTube. Go hit the subscribe button. Go follow on Twitch, shout out to our Patreon producer, Aaron God. Always. We'll always have that.
I was going to say, you've always got to have that. And I think, it's sometimes easy to forget, but every podcast is always somebody's first, I think.
That's true. That is true.
I think you could cut it down quite a bit if you wanted to, alleviate some of what's there.
Maybe. Thanks for listening.
The reality is Fix isn't going to change anything.
No, probably not.
He's going to come on, the show notes are going to be like this, and he's going to go from the top.
Probably not. Topic of the show this week. I didn't even pick one, so we'll go with this one. Microsoft have partnered with Amazon for a Game Pass-clad gaming on Fire TV sticks. Quote, the expansion of Xbox gaming to Fire TV devices offers players another option for enjoying their favorite games using devices they already own, said Ashley McKissick I'm gonna go with that. Who leads Xbox Cloud Gaming as Xbox CVP for Xbox Experiences. Wiz, how are we feeling about this? Obviously, this news broke beginning of the week, I believe. We had a short go up. Shout out to Despawn again, who did that. Matt, what do you make of this? Obviously, there's been news since this about the xCloud device that was patented, and we saw the whole I believe Keystone, thank you. I believe Jez Corden was the one that broke that news over at Windows Central. What are you making of this Fire TV Amazon deal?
Ultimately, I think it's a good thing. You know, like it is a very low barrier to entry thing for people, like a Fire Stick. Obviously, that's significantly cheaper than a Series S will ever be, the idea of buying a Fire Stick and a controller. I would have thought this comes with some like really good deals for Amazon Prime Day. I would suggest that you probably wait and hold off if that's how you want to get into this, and wait for what the inevitable Xbox controller bundle that I'm sure will come with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like ultimately it's a good thing. It does make me curious as to like, I think now it's a very long time before we see apps natively go to TVs. In the same way that they already have with Samsung TVs. Like, I've always been a bit of a conspiracy nut with why that app has not made it to other devices and other like LG TVs and stuff like that. What those deals look like. I think those deals are really long. And now that they've signed this with Amazon, I would assume it comes with some sort of clause that says you can't just put this straight into smart TVs now because they want to sell their Fire Sticks. And so I think it's probably an even longer path now to getting this natively onto other TVs that aren't Samsung. Sorry, but yeah, look, ultimately it's good.
You're cutting.
We've lost you, Fix.
You cut out, Fix.
Yeah, but...
No, we've lost you, Fix.
Oh,
yeah, we can hear you now. We can hear you.
Oh,
Okay,
okay,
well, you're back.
weird.
You're back. You're back.
I'm not sure about the technology behind all of how streaming works. Is there a way? Is there a hope in hell that this works better than the Samsung app in any way, shape, or form?
I think it depends on TV, probably, right? To a degree,
maybe, but you can only get it on certain Samsung TVs, so they're only going to have put it on the ones that can already handle it. They initially launched again messy Xbox messaging. They initially launched the Samsung TV app as like a new thing for new TVs for that year.
Yeah.
And claimed, I'm sure, and somebody will need to look this up, that this is actually the case, but I'm sure they claimed that there was some fresh hardware in these new TVs that allowed for it to be a thing. Then all of a sudden, 6-8 months later, they backdated it to older Samsung TVs, but not so far.
They're doing the same thing with the Fire Stick. I'm pretty sure it's only the 2023 Fire Stick or something like that that has access to it in the beginning, and then they're backdating it to more Fire Sticks according to like information that's come out. So it's not even every Fire Stick has it, as far as I'm aware right now.
Yeah. Look, it's I'm sure an incredibly complex thing to do, right? But it does also feel like there is some marketing, push for the newer devices. Like there has to be a reason behind that kind of thing as well. Is there a way that you asked, Fix? Is there a way that this works better on the Fire Stick TV than the native Samsung apps? I would have thought no.
Yeah,
like it's just a software thing. To me, there can't be a way. The only way it would maybe is if like the Wi-Fi chip in the Fire Stick is better than the Wi-Fi chips natively in TVs, which may be the case. Yeah, that might be the case, but I would have thought that's negligible at best, and probably has far more of an impact depending on your positioning of your Wi-Fi router to your device than the Wi-Fi chip inside the device, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have thought negligible at best if it does.
Okay, interesting. Gresh, what'd you make of all this? You're not really the cloud guy, let's be honest.
Yeah, I think it's like the same thing as the Samsung TVs. It's cool for people who use it. I don't think it'll really like shift the zeitgeist too much on cloud gaming right now. I think that still is an Xbox situation to handle however they decide it. Because I don't even know if like cloud gaming on PC, it's there for certain games. I don't know. That's not making super big waves. I don't know how Xbox at this point goes to push cloud gaming even more than they already have to a new audience.
Does it need to be pushed? Would be my question.
I don't know. That's a good point. I don't know if it does need to be pushed.
Yeah, my thoughts on that are it fits perfectly with their their mantra right now of the whole giving players options and whatever marketing spiel they want to give us right now, right? Like, I don't necessarily think they want it to be. I'm sure they would love it to be huge, but
yeah.
Go on, please, play for.
I was just gonna say they've talked about it like it's the future of gaming as well, though.
True, but does that not then come down to internet speeds? And didn't I just see, was it Japan or was it China that just announced brand new internet speeds that are like crazy, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, it was Japan, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So is that not what it comes down to mainly? Go on, Matt.
I was going to say Starlink just launched in a bunch of new countries as well. So you get like, gigabit internet and I think like Madagascar and other places as well now with Starlink. So
we're getting there. Ultimately, we are getting there. I say that after coming off a train today. Still can't get stable internet on a train. So we're not really getting there, let's be honest. Here's a conspiracy theory for you. Anyone think 5G is bullshit? I feel like I get worse internet speeds with 5G than I do anything else.
So this is, again, I will need some fact checking on this. Tweet me about this. Definitely in the UK, they redefined what 5G means to basically also include 4G. So now, more often than not in the UK, when you see 5G in the top right of your phone, it actually just means 4G because they weren't getting up the 5G infrastructure quick enough. And they were just like, well, we'll just redefine what 5G means then to include a bunch of 4G bands as well. And that went very under the radar. People on Tech Radar gave a shit, which is why I know about it, right? Because it's back when I was on there. But yeah, that went very under the radar, and I don't think a lot of people know. But yeah, 5G basically just became 4G overnight and became shit. So there we go.
Not great. I'll be honest. Anything more to add on this whole Fire Stick thing? I'm happy it's here. I'll say that. Like I say, anything that gets more people playing games, which helps our industry make more money, I'm all for. I just don't know how much this is going to move the needle. I don't see a PlayStation fan who has a Fire Stick. I don't see them now going, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll now play Gears of War on my Fire Stick. If you're one of those people, please email in myxboxandme@gmail.com or myxboxpodcast@gmail.com. I just don't see it.
I can see a situation where like you get a free month of Game Pass through whatever it is, T-Mobile, whatever your phone carrier, they give a free month of Game Pass or something like that. And you're like, I don't have an Xbox device, but I have a Fire Stick, so I'll load it up. And then you sort of pull people into the ecosystem. I don't think many like hardcore gamers would stick to a Fire Stick by itself.
Yeah.
But I think the next time it's like they see a Series S or a Series X on sale, they're like, oh, I did enjoy that. I did enjoy that experience. Maybe I go and buy that. So I do see like an avenue from there, possibly.
I think the conversion rate is super low. What I do think it does is for people who use Fire Stick consistently, they're now going to see the Xbox logo when they boot that thing up a lot.
That's very true. The whole brand recognition of just seeing something all the time definitely helps.
Yeah, and Fire Stick has those like banner ads, and so you imagine like the next Hellblade that launches or whatever that big Indiana Jones, for example, you're probably going to get a big old banner ad for Indiana Jones at the top of your Fire Stick, and you're going to go, it's a new Indiana Jones movie, and you're going to click on it, and it's going to go, no, it's not a movie, it's a game. Do you want Game Pass? And everybody's going to say no, but hey, you've got people to click on the thing. Yeah. I think there's power in that. My question is like, who's still using a Fire Stick? Like every TV that you buy now, it's turning dumb TVs into smart TVs. That's what Fire Sticks do. Yeah. And so it's just weird that like
everyone who does IPTV, everyone who steals TV, they're the ones who use Fire Sticks.
Sure. If you're not paying for Sky Sports,
that's the only people I know, right? That use Fire Sticks. So people are like, I bought a Fire Stick. I'm stealing Sky Sports. Like that's it. They're the only people I know.
Well, does this? I mean, maybe it's more complicated. I don't know, but does this open piracy within Game Pass? People are pirating, sports all the time through Fire Sticks. Does this open piracy into Game Pass in some form or fashion?
I think the interactive interactive portion of that just sort of adds a huge barrier for that, I'd assume.
Not only that, I imagine with like the Sky Sports thing, it's somebody streaming that on a private network behind closed doors and then outputting it out to, wherever
Exactly,
it
yeah.
is. You can't do that with you wouldn't do that with a game, would you? Like, we're going to stream the game and then not control the game and then no.
I don't know how it all works because I don't care about football and I'm not a pirate. So,
hey, I want to put it on the record. I pay for Sky Sports, all right? I want that on the record. Yeah, I pay my TV license, I pay for Virgin Media, and I pay for Sky Sports. I want that on the record, all right? That's all I'm willing to say on this matter.
And you pay for Game Pass.
That's all I'm willing to say on the matter, okay? We're not talking about this any further. Carry on. Let's move into this week's dashboard chat. Oh, no, let's do what's been in our box. Let's talk about what we've been playing, because we got a lot to talk about, Matt.
Oh, lordy, we do.
You disrespected me.
I'm impressed.
No. Slow down.
Impressed.
Slow down. Give context to the people. Let me tee it up. Matt P video on this podcast said, "You will not beat Elden Ring." I said,
"Yeah.
Watch me," and he said, "There's no way." What were your exact words? Do you remember? I remember your exact words. You're a little bitch and you won't do it, and I fucking hate your guts. I remember it like it was yesterday. That
doesn't sound like me.
And the meme of go on.
2 of those 3 things are still true.
I am a little bitch. You're right.
He does hate your guts.
True.
So the meme in my head says, like the MJ documentary, right? I took that personally.
Fair.
And I did.
Yeah.
So I've been playing Elden Ring, as most people know. I've actually stopped for now. Do you know where I'm at, Matt?
I don't, but I the last time I saw you, I remember going, "Holy shit, he's way further than I thought he would ever be."
Yeah. So I'm at the final boss. You were in the
capital, I think, last time I saw you.
Yeah. I'm at the final boss.
Shit.
I'm at the final boss. Attempted to do it. What are you putting faces at? What are you putting faces for?
Well, because can we spoil Elden Ring? You don't care,
the
right?
base game, yeah. You're fine.
Yeah. Okay, well, because you need to beat an optional boss to get into the DLC.
I know.
So, like...
Yes, though.
Is that the boss that you're talking about?
No. I'm at the final boss.
Okay, you're at the base game final boss. Fine, I'm with you. I
bet you calm the fuck down, yeah? And don't disrespect me. Don't disrespect me, all right? We'll get to you in a minute, all right?
Okay.
We'll get to you in a minute. So, I'm at the final... So, Matt, I want to give you some... So, I beat most of the bosses on my own up until the Fire Giant.
Okay.
So, from Fire Giant onwards, I had Jetty jump...
By the way, I'm not gonna ever try and claim that you didn't beat it because you use summons or because you use a specific build or
no.
I know
you
use even if you modded it for like seamless co-op or whatever and did the whole thing, like I'm still giving you that.
I know, but I just wanted to give you but I wanna just say that I beat all the bosses up to the Fire Giant, and then I wanted to pull my teeth out. I was going to destroy my entire office.
You struggle with the Fire Giant.
I hate it.
This is what I keep hearing. And I wonder if it's changed. When I first played the game, the Fire Giant was one of the easier bosses for me.
No way. I hate it.
I'm with you, Matt. I don't think it's that difficult.
Maybe it's changed. Maybe they nerfed or buffed him, I guess, or nerfed the things that made it easy. I don't know. I can't remember really all that well. What I would say is I'm playing through Elden Ring again because I was lucky enough to get a code for Shadow of the Erdtree, except they gave me a code on PS5. And then I went, fuck, I played the whole thing on Xbox. And so now I need to get back to Shadow of the Erdtree on PS5. And I'm doing like a completely different build. I kind of wanted to play again anyway. And I wasn't like pressured because of stuff I've been away for to like get content out for it. So yeah, I'm playing through again on PS5, and so I'm experiencing it all again from base, which is exciting.
Where did you think I was going to get stuck? Out of interest, or did you just not think I'd touch it again at all?
I thought maybe you'd like get to Radahn. I thought you might beat Radahn and then just drop off. Like I didn't think like you'd get. I don't think you'd hit a brick wall and stop playing. I just thought you would like just drop off because a new game came out or this thing or like so many things. Like there was no like real judgment in it.
Yes, there was. You tried to tell me I weren't a real gamer.
Yeah, I don't think those words ever came out of his
mouth. And he called me a little bitch and he hates my guts. Don't forget.
Those did. I remember very vividly him saying those.
I don't think you're getting off the hook. You said it as well.
Yeah, but I'll stand on that right now.
Yeah.
So like, what are we doing here, Fix?
That's fair.
No, yeah.
I'm super proud and glad that you've stuck it out. Have you enjoyed it? I think is the bigger question.
Yes, I enjoyed it all the way up to the fire giant.
And that frustrated you to a point of not.
It frustrated me to a point of I was going to stop playing altogether.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like I say, I enjoyed it, but I'm playing it a very specific way, right? Like I'm playing it my way. I'm interactive map. Oh my god, I'm play game. I'm stuck. Let me go get some more health potions. Run over here, get the potion. I'm in the air now. I'm exploring a whole new area that I didn't even know existed. I'm not playing. Yeah. I can see why you and Chris love the game so much, and that whole sense of like, yo, I went over here and this happened, and like that water cooler moment of like, I will never have that with this game, unfortunately. And even the DLC, I'm waiting for an interactive map. I'm waiting for best builds. I'm waiting for like, I ain't touching the DLC until then.
Well, interestingly, like I'm playing now on the PS5. I'm using like a magic build and stuff, and I've been playing it more the way you're playing it now. Yeah. Like not quite to the interactive map level, but I've been going like, I know the weapons I want. I know the quest lines I want to do. And like, you know, quest lines that I would have...
Quest lines. Never did any of those.
Well, exactly. Quest lines that I would have, you know, met the initial NPC during my first run and then never ran into that quest line ever again, right? Yeah. Because like, it is so specific. I don't understand how anybody stumbles upon most of this shit.
I agree.
And actually figures out like, oh, now you have to go back here, and now you have to do this, and now you have to go talk to that guy, and if you've already done this boss, then that guy won't be there now, he'll be over here, and all that crazy shit where I'm like, you have to do this stuff with a guide, surely. No,
it's how online conversations.
Sure,
I remember which falls into like being a guide. It is that like sort of community aspect, and Miyazaki's come out talking about it. It's like the goal of the game is that community aspect. It's why you can leave notes. It's why you can see people's death marks and the ghosts and all that stuff. It is. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with the way you're playing it, Fix. I don't think there's anything, because when the game came out, I remember people would go on Reddit and there were Reddit threads of like, I just saw this, like what happens next, and people trying to like piece it together. You're viewing that like end puzzle, but that's still community driven in a certain regard.
Yeah, no, me personally, I couldn't give a crap. I'm playing how I like to play the game and how I'm enjoying the game, you know? It's very much like how I played Final Fantasy VII Remake the first time, which was like, I'm playing the game, enjoying the game, and then Despawn and Full Metal will go in, yo, hint, you should use these two materials together, and boom, it opens up a whole new experience. Bro, I'm a streamer, right? This is what I do. Like, I play these experiences how I want to. I don't play games how other people tell me to. I play it how I want to, whether that be with a guide or not. But yeah, no, I agree. And to move on to the DLC, Crash, we'll go with you first because you've been playing it. How is it?
Yeah, it's really good. I'm on the very last boss of the DLC.
Oh, so you do know how to beat things. Nice.
Wow.
I'm like 2 games behind you. That's a crazy statement to make this year.
Are you sure?
How many games have you beaten?
5, 6?
I beat like 3.
What you beat?
3, 4.
This is how we got into this conversation last time, by the
Tekken?
way. Okay, yeah.
Are you gonna say I didn't beat Tekken? Tell me I didn't beat Tekken. Please tell me I didn't beat Tekken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hellblade?
I beat Hellblade.
Uh-huh.
I beat Wuthering Waves.
I don't know what that is.
That's 3 games. I'm like 3 games behind you.
Okay. Yeah, but let's be serious. Do I count a beating? We'll get onto it. Carry on with your carry on. Talk to me about this DLC. Am I going to enjoy this DLC?
Defiant, or are you?
I am. We're going to get to it later. We're going to get onto it though. I don't think I'm going to enjoy this DLC from everything I'm hearing online, by the way.
No, it's like it's difficult. Even if you summon people, it's difficult. They nerfed it a little bit and made it a little bit easy. I think the way you play the game, you will not enjoy it super hard.
It's a lot more exploring, right?
It's a lot. You need to do the exploring because a lot of the level up materials are stuck behind exploring.
Yeah.
You can't just summon someone with the way the end game works to like just power you through it, which you have done to degrees. So I do think that there will be a little bit more struggling. I don't think you beat the DLC.
Don't you fucking dare. Don't you
I don't think you
fucking dare.
DLC.
Don't you fucking dare. How dare you? Don't disrespect me, Crash.
Unless they nerf the game even more, I don't think you beat the DLC.
There'll be a mod that comes out and makes it easier.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, it does.
No,
Matt just
it
said I
doesn't
can play it
count.
however I want. He said it. Come out of his mouth.
Matt did not say Matt at no point said mods. If you want to mod the game and beat the game through a mod, I'm cool with that. Don't ever come on this podcast and tell me you beat the game.
Don't disrespect me, all right? I'm not having it anymore.
So you can beat it, the DLC?
The plan is to beat it.
I hope you do. I really I think there's a few parts where I do think it's very possible to hit walls on. Harder than the Redan wall you were at, and probably harder than the Fire Giant.
I wasn't stuck at Redan. I didn't get stuck
You were
at
stuck
Redan.
at the boss before Redan.
I was. Yes.
Renala.
Oh, what, the two bosses? Are you on about that one?
Yeah.
Fuck them. They are absolute. Matt, did you hear about this?
Godskin Duo?
Yeah, I think so. The
not
lion,
the
the
He hasn't
lion
fought them at all.
the lion and the other guy, the knight.
So when you go to fight Redan in the little court, you might have not ever experienced it, because if you do the quest line for Blade or something like that, you can skip the
skips
fight.
it.
But there's a Crucible Knight and one of the Beastman dudes that you have to fight there.
They suck.
And fix. Does Matt know that you tried cheesing past it?
Did you hear what I did, Matt?
No.
So did you see that I had to start the game again? Hence why I moved it to PC. So the reason that happened was because I looked online for a cheese, found out you can cheese your way into that room without them interacting with you.
Without triggering it,
triggering you. I killed one of them and didn't have enough arrows to kill the guy that was up top, so then I couldn't get out of that area. Game was broken. I had to start a whole new save.
Sick. You can't just commit suicide or something?
Can't do anything. Just you're saved into that room.
He didn't have any of the cooking books
No, I had
to
nothing.
craft
I had
anything.
nothing.
He couldn't craft. Yeah,
I didn't have crafting. Period.
Yeah.
I only got
Never bothered,
crafting at the end of the game. On PC, I didn't even go and get the crafting book at the start. Madness. Matt, you've not started the DLC yet.
I have not, no, because I'm making my way back through on PS5, and so no, I'm getting there, but I'm enjoying it, right? I've got kind of everything I need to get now, and I'm happy with my build and stuff. So yeah, I'm just enjoying making my way through again.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on to what else everyone else has been playing. Anything else you've been playing, Matt?
I jumped into Hades 2 while I've been away on various planes and flights. I haven't put all that much time into it, to be honest with you. But it's just fucking good in it. There's nothing much more to say on it. Hades 1 was great. Hades 2 is fucking great.
Not played it.
Play Hades.
It's good.
Yeah, don't play it yet. I will when it comes out.
That's
When Finished comes out and everyone's talking about it again, I'll play it then.
I think it's the better move from what I've played. I think it's the better move to wait for the whole game to be out.
Yeah, that's the plan. Anything you've been playing, Crash?
I started. It's not on Xbox, so it's not really relevant. But I started Zenless Zone Zero the other day. Finally came out.
I've seen people tweet about this. What the fuck is this game?
It's the MiHoYo game that they've showed off multiple times.
What's it called?
Zenless Zone Zero. ZZZ. Not a great name.
Oh yeah. There we go. I see it.
Yeah. It's cool.
Good game.
I like it. The combat's really good. I would not recommend anybody play it because it's a gacha game.
I see why Crash likes this game. Okay, now I understand.
I'm with you.
No problem.
I'm with you.
Okay.
What are you talking about, Fix?
Unbelievable.
Okay. Respect. Hey, you do you, brother. We don't judge you here. I do a little bit, but you do you. You do you. Enjoying it?
Yeah, the combat's really fun. The story's okay so far. But it's your typical gacha game. I'll never recommend the gacha game because they're inherently gambling type of games. Yeah. But for what's there, it's really fun. I enjoy it.
Fair enough. Well, I've been playing a bunch of games. So first of all, I'm absolutely addicted to X Defiant. Out of nowhere. Don't have a clue how it's got me. I am currently level 61. And I have... It's the first game I've ever got into where I've ultimately leveled my guns up to get gold and silver and bronze level skins and things like that.
I've heard they've improved the gun leveling like a good
leveling's amazing. Gun
that.
leveling's amazing. They've absolutely buffed up. So you level up about every 15 kills now. You level up. You level up your gun. So each gun, to get all the attachments unlocked, you need to get each gun to level 42. They just had a double XP weekend where if you had XP tokens on top of that, it was ridiculous. Like one match, I was leveling up a gun like 6 times. So I got all of my guns that I wanted to, other than LMG, snipers, and shotguns, all above level 42. Which, yeah, really having a great time with it. They just put out the new modes, Capture the Flag. Obviously, full transparency, I work for Ubisoft. Take everything I say with a pinch of salt. They're not paying me to say any of this. Yeah, honestly, I don't know why, I don't know how, but this game has got me. I'm streaming it every single day. I've got a group of people who watch me on stream that now play with me. I'm live 9 o'clock on the dot, like I was with like roleplay and things like that, right? Like 9 o'clock on the dot, I jump on, people are waiting, we jump in, we're destroying people. What a great game. I'm having so much fun with it. Found my gun that I really love, MP7. Probably the best gun in the game right now. It is the meta. And it's just destroying people. Playing with a controller, which I think that's where we went wrong, Crash. Not mouse and keyboard. So it feels so much better for people like me and you. Controller, 100%. But yeah, man, just absolutely love the game. Very arcadey. Go on, please.
Are you playing ranked at all, or are you just playing casuals?
Ranked just dropped. So season 1 has obviously just came out. Ranked has just dropped. 4v4s for ranked on Escort, Domination, Capture the Flag, and there's another mode, but I can't remember what it is. Haven't touched it yet. I'm waiting to have my little group, my little posse, because we've got like 2 different groups, right? We've got a few people who are American, but their ping's crazy, so we can't. On casuals, we're destroying people still, we're absolutely fine. But doing that in ranked is going to be hell. So I'm still trying to find my 3 other top dogs. I got this guy called Mickey. Oh my god, Crash. Oh, when I tell you, this kid is crazy. Crazy with it. He's carrying us the whole time. He's going 40-1, 40-2. Like, it's ridiculous. So, yeah. But it's like anything, you know. When you play with better players, you play better. You learn a lot more.
I mean, look, Fix, say no more. I'll jump in with you. You know, I'll help.
Thank you all for watching this week's episode of Matt. I'm Dan. Obviously,
Matt Mr. FPS.
Mr. FPS. If you want to play next week, me and you and Crash and Despawn, you know, if you can carve out some time, Despawn probably won't play. Last time we played, Despawn got angry.
Yeah, Despawn got angry.
It's the first time. Yeah, he was pissed. But yeah, I'd love to play Matt if you're Dan. I think you'd get very angry as well. But
we should do it.
It's like that old. If you can handle that like old Call of Duty anger.
Yeah.
Like I spawned and died. I spawned like
I grew up in the mean streets of Modern Warfare. You know, on high rise and Modern Warfare 2.
Mr. FPS.
Mr. FPS. That's what they call him. That's
what they call me.
So yeah, playing a ton of that, having a bunch of fun, and then I played yesterday for about 2 hours. And we were meant to play it, Crash, but I started it. The First Ascendant. So,
I downloaded that today.
Yeah, played it.
Uh-oh.
What do I say about this game? Very pretty game. Free to play, obviously. I don't hate it. I don't think it's a great game by any stretch of the imagination. I feel like it's one of those games that if everyone was like, yo, I'm really enjoying this, let's keep playing, I would be there playing non-stop, let's go have fun. But it feels very much like a McDonald's meal. You know, it does the job, but there is absolutely no substance in it at all. It is very much... Go on.
It's very much like early Warframe. And I mean like early Warframe.
I never played Warframe that early on, so yeah, I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I do like... So again, because I never played Warframe, I do like the seamlessness of like the missions and stuff like that. Like you run around and like you start a mission and there's 3 other people doing it. You join them and it feels like a very cool world of like everyone's intertwined and helping each other out and all of that good stuff. It just lacks substance so far. But again, super early on. But yeah.
I know very little about it. Is it like Destiny vibes.
Yeah, Warframe cross Destiny. It's a looter shooter.
Okay. Have you played Warframe, Matt?
Yeah, a little bit, not like
okay.
Maybe
so
it is.
It is Destiny-esque in that like there is loot that you're getting through doing missions. If you want to build any of the other characters, you collect like individual parts. I heard the time mechanic of when you want to construct things is in the game as well.
I haven't got
and that's where microtransactions come and stuff like that. Except the micro, so it has a lot of Warframe's microtransactions in the game, except that the microtransactions are more expensive.
Oh, it's expensive. Everything we looked through, like skins and everything, this game ain't cheap.
And shaders are one-time use, so it's not like you can reuse them as well. But where Warframe's cheaper, but also Warframe, you can trade the premium currency in game. So there is like a free-to-play market where you can be completely free-to-play in that game. I don't believe you can do that in this game, if I'm not mistaken. So there is that barrier also where like for certain things you do have to spend actual money to a degree. But I think all that sort of stuff is fixable. I do think if the game lasts long enough from what I've seen that they can sort of fix it and improve it. Just like Warframe. Warframe was not a great game when it first launched. And then over the years, slowly you add features and stuff like that. But I agree with Fix. It is a very pretty game from the little bit I've played of it.
I see it surviving, weirdly. I don't know why, but it has all the things that I see content creators go into and enjoying. And I think that whole market, I think it will survive. What I will say is I don't really love the abilities. Like each of your abilities, I'm using the freeze girl. You know, she can freeze things and stuff like that. It all just feels very meh, to be honest with you. Like the AoE attacks only attacks one person at a time and things like that. It just nothing feels special when you're doing it.
Yeah,
you know, it feels like a podcast game. If you understand what I mean by that, very much or a TV show on the side. If you're a nerd like me who you know sits at his desk with his 4 monitors or whatever, it is very much throw up Bob's Burgers and I can grind this out and I can look this direction while playing this game. It feels like never feel like I'm gonna die. Never feel like I'm gonna get a real challenge. Don't get me wrong, I'm only playing on normal difficulty because you have to unlock hard. But yeah, I feel like it's going to survive for that reason because there's enough grind here that people will want to do because they will enjoy that. But yeah, it lacks a lot of substance for me.
Yeah, I think the big test for that game is going to be the next looter game in that vein that has a big update or releases, how it does after that. But for now, I think I agree with you. I think that it does seem like there's enough legs there for enough people to stick onto it for it to possibly get the improvements it needs to like get some of the more hardcore players that are probably like it doesn't fit all the bills that I have for it to like fit whatever they want out of the game.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. I really do. But yeah, that's all I've been playing. I'm looking forward to playing this with you, Crash. To be honest with you, the first.
You should have told me. You should have told me you were playing. I might have hopped on.
To be fair, I was only planning on playing it for an hour. There was an hour of maintenance per X-Defiant. So I was like, let me hop on. And then the maintenance went a bit longer, so I ended up being on longer. So, yeah.
I'd be more excited to play X-Defiant from the sounds of it, but yeah.
So different, though. Both those games are so different.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. So different, but... Yeah, I get what you mean.
I got one more thing that I played that you guys both might be a bit jealous about.
Oh, go on.
At Gamescom Latam in Brazil, I got some early hands-on time with Metaphor Refantasio. Bye-bye. New Atlas game.
Fix doesn't even know what game this is, and I want you to know that even knowing what game it is, Fix would not be jealous.
The new Persona game, Fix.
Oh, the new one from them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why the hell would I be jealous?
I thought you were into your Personas.
No. Fix has said he's gonna.
No, I like to. So me and
you know
Stead,
what I can.
Go on.
I can tell you definitively, Fix will never be Persona 5.
Stead said the same thing and he was correct. So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it's weird, yeah. Bought a PS Vita for Persona 4 Golden, never beat it.
Yeah.
Then sold the Vita and Persona 4 Golden, of course. Bought got bought Persona by the community to play it, didn't play it. Then it came to Game Pass, didn't play it. Then bought it on PC. Is it on PC? Oh, I don't think I did buy it on PC. It was bought on PlayStation. Bought it on PlayStation when it was on sale, didn't play it.
Sick. Okay, well then maybe you won't care, Fix, but Crash will. I played that new Atlas game, Metaphor Refantasia, or however you're supposed to pronounce it.
How was it?
Well, what I would say is obviously when you play stuff at a convention on the show floor like this, it's the worst way to play it, right? Like I didn't have sound for the first bit, and you know, like there's a lot going on. Anyway, visually, like it's incredible. Like, oh my god, like the art style and the like way it does UI is like actually really interesting and unique and fucking cool. Like the enemy designs are really cool as well. Like it's intriguing as hell, right? So that was all really interesting. The stuff that I didn't get to grips with, which I know the stuff that like Persona fans care about, is like, what's the social thing like? How does the open world work? What's the soundtrack like? These are all the things that the Persona fans care about that I just didn't get to experience any of. But as somebody who's never played a Persona game, I'm interested. Now, I did say this was the year that I was going to get into my JRPGs, and so far it's not gone great for me. But look, I'm interested to play more.
Interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I think if I saw this on a show floor, I wouldn't have played it personally.
It's not a show floor game. It's not a show floor game.
Sure.
Because I wouldn't have expected like the stuff that I would have wanted to see, like you said, the social elements. I wouldn't have expected that on the show floor because it's not flashy enough to be on a show floor, because that's just like sit around, walk around, talk to that person. It's like
they had it. Like I polished my swords with some dude. Like I don't know what that did. I took a shit and I got +1 luck. That was great.
Let's go.
But yeah, so I was able to go around the like ship and chat to people. And then I went on a date. You know, like you pick an activity to do with one person on your ship, and that's what you do that evening. And like my analog for all of that was like, oh, this is like Marvel's Midnight Suns. Very much aware that Marvel's it stole it from everything else, right? But,
you're not wrong.
That's what it was. That's what it reminded me of. So yeah. I'm sure Persona fans are in for a treat. You know?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think like everything I've seen, I think the only thing that holds me off a little bit is the art style's a little bit weird for the game.
I agree. It's one of the things.
Art style's crazy, but it's great.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's different. Is more so, and it's more so a case of like when I sit down and actually play it for a stretch of time, will that be something that I'm like, oh, I actually enjoy this, or will that be of like, I think I've seen enough of this for right now and I'm putting down the game?
Sure, I think it could definitely get to a point where it's too much, right? Like when like a character levels up, the amount of shit it throws at you is like insane. But you're going to be playing this game for 100 to 200 hours.
Yeah,
a lot of that will sort of fade into the background and you'll just understand it, right? From a point of, you've seen it enough and you understand how it works, even to the point where like I was going in the turn-based fighting, was kind of flicking through those menus so quickly by the end of, my 20-minute play session or whatever, that a lot of it fades into the background, right? And so yeah, it's cool, I guess. But I'm not a Persona guy, so...
Is it coming to Game Pass?
No.
It's coming
Unless
to Xbox,
they've announced something else, it's coming to Xbox, yeah.
Okay.
So it was announced with the other Persona stuff. It was announced with the other Persona stuff, with Persona 5 and 3 coming to Game Pass, and this was just an Xbox release.
Did you say you played it on Xbox?
For the game as well.
Yep, they were showing off on Xbox.
They've got the marketing then. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Fair enough. Let's get into this week's dashboard and run through the news real quickly, shall we? First up, it looks like Activision games are potentially starting to come to Game Pass, and it looks like it will be starting with Crash Bandicoot, which is being reported to apparently possibly be coming in August. We excited?
Hell yeah.
I'm not so much excited for Crash, don't get me wrong. I played Crash Bandicoot already, right? Like, that's not a big wow for me, but I am excited to get all the Activision games eventually. And I'm glad they're starting that process now.
I am excited for Crash.
The last Crash game. I never played it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, me too. I played the Insane Trilogy, me and Emma, and then we never picked up 4. So that coming will be a good afternoon, I'm sure, of raging. And I don't know, is it as difficult as the first couple of Crash games?
Nah.
No.
Not for a professional like me. Maybe you.
Sure. Yeah, well, like, they call me Mr. FPS, not Mr. Side-scrolling platformer.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. God damn it.
I love it so much.
I hate you. So next up, there was the Capcom had their thing. I don't even know what to call it. Ends up not standing up for it because I just didn't see the point, unfortunately. Huge Dead Rising fan, as most people know. Dead Rising Deluxe Remastered has a release date. It will run at 4K 60 FPS and is all being run in the RE engine. It will release September 18th, 2024. So I've seen the it looks amazing. Let me make that perfectly clear. It looks fantastic. I kind of wish they would have fully went with a remake, if I'm honest. Like the
as
way
opposed to
it's
remaster.
It's the remaster, yeah. Which the way there's a few they've made some quality of life changes about the game, and they even said in their briefing sort of thing, they're like, some people would call this a remake. It isn't, but there's a lot of quality of life fixes. The biggest grudge I have with the game, which is what most Dead Rising fans do, is the voice actor isn't back for Frank. And it's been... The conversation around that is because Capcom have moved away from using people who have unions, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a whole another kettle of fish. But the game itself looks amazing. Looks like there's a lot of quality of life fixes. I'll be honest, I thought Capcom was absolutely done with Dead Rising and we would never see it again. So this makes me so hopeful that we will see Dead Rising again in some fashion if this is done well and this performs well. Matt, your face says otherwise. Don't say that to me.
No, I think you're right in a sense of I could definitely see us getting a Dead Rising 2 remake.
I hope so.
And if they both perform exceptionally well, maybe we get something else. But I don't see like a 3 or a 4 remake, and
they need to throw 4 in the bin, so we better not get a 4 remake.
They'll just
I think
skip
we're
the Christmas
ways.
Well, that's the whole game.
I don't know.
The whole game's based in Christmas.
I'm talking about the DLC, whatever.
I know what you're talking about, but that doesn't matter. No, I would love to see... So we're obviously getting this. I'd love to see a 2 done in this way. 2 and 2...
Would you...
Deluxe, I think it is, the remakey thing with Frank. But yeah.
Would you want 2 to be a remaster or a remake?
I'm fine with a remaster like this. I would love a remake, and then after that, let's just reboot Dead Rising altogether. Which I don't think they will, but yeah, that's what I would love.
Well, maybe, but I just think we're so far off that, like, so many things could change in the meantime. I think you'd be lucky to get a Dead Rising 2 remake. Because I don't think this will perform great.
I agree. I think it will amongst people like me who love Dead Rising.
I think you'll love it.
Yeah.
I think you'll love it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
We probably all on the podcast will love it.
Not Crash, you don't like Dead Rising.
I don't think it'll do... Okay, fine. I think the people who played Dead Rising 1 will play it and love it.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're going to pick up a new audience with this. I don't think it's going to exceed their expectations sales-wise. I think getting a Dead Rising 2 remake off the back of those numbers will be an uphill battle.
Not a remaster. I think they could do a remaster.
Maybe.
Because you might know this better. The numbers because they remastered Resident Evil 1 at one point, right?
No, they've remade
it.
They remade Resident Evil 1.
Yeah, but it wasn't like their current definition of remake yet.
Yeah, no, it was. This was a full-on whole different game.
It was a remake.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Resident Evil 1 for GameCube, because you got OG and then you've got Resident Evil 1 that came to GameCube that has now come to all the other platforms. That was a remake of Resident Evil 1. Yeah.
Got it. I was going to ask, like, how did that perform?
Oh, yeah, that was huge. That was huge, yeah. Back then, it was huge, yeah.
Got it.
But that's the one we're waiting for them to now remake. That's why it's so weird, because, like, Resident Evil Remake 1. We need another remake of 1 to fit with the RE engine. It's a very strange world we live in right now when it comes to Resident Evil. But yeah, that performs well. I don't know if this will perform well. I don't think it will. Not well enough for them to go, okay, we should make more Dead Rising. I can see this doing well enough to get Dead Rising 2 a remake, because I can't imagine, now they've done this, you know, they probably learned from it, right? They learn what to do, what not to do, and things like that. They could probably put a smaller team on remaking 2.
Maybe.
And then we don't need 3 to be remade, and we don't really need 4 to just literally die on a hill for a week.
3 is the gritty one?
3 was the gritty one that was a Xbox One launch title.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You could combine weapons on the go and all of that good stuff. Dead Rising a pretty good game. Good game. Solid launch title game, especially. But not what we not what it wasn't what Dead Rising was. You know, what we expected it to be, you know, the wackiness. It was very dark and gritty and things like that, but what else came out of this, though, was we got confirmation that Resident Evil, the next Resident Evil title, is in development. It will be directed by the same director who made Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil Mercenaries on the 3DS, and Resident Evil 5, if I'm not mistaken, and Revelations 1 as well. The big quote that came from this was this. It was very difficult to figure out what to do after Resident Evil 7, but I found it, and to be honest, it feels substantial. I can't share details yet, but I hope you're excited to that when I can. He did go on to say that he figured out what went wrong with games like Resident Evil 5 and Revelations and things like that. So a lot of people are excited for this. I'm excited. Obviously, this is kind of like a cow water's wet, you know? Like, of course, Capcom were making a new Resident Evil. Don't worry about the cow comment. I was going to come out with something else. Just ignore it. Just ignore it. Just ignore it. Yeah.
It's kind of like a cow.
Sorry, I just went somewhere in my head. I was gonna say about a cow. I was gonna say about like milking a cow or something along those lines. I was like, do you know what? No, just go with water's wet. I'm excited. This seemed like the weirdest way to announce that a new Resident Evil game was coming. If I'm honest,
I think there's been so much speculation and people leaking that it's going to get announced here, get announced there. Like, I feel like every single turn, it's a no-brainer kind of prediction to go like, next Resident Evil's going to get announced. And there was so much chatter around it for SGF. Maybe they went, oh, fucking just say we're doing it so people shut the fuck up. I don't know if that actually works, but...
Do you think that there is, like, announcing it here does take away some agency for websites to, like, put out the articles that, like, new Resident Evil announced? No,
we live in such
nobody sees this.
We live in such a horrible clickbait world now, mate, and just a click-driven world where, like, anything that can drive clicks is going to happen. So, no, this doesn't change that at all. I think it's nice to have confirmation, though. I feel like more game companies should just come out and do this. A bit like what Bethesda did, right? Where it's like, hey, we're making Starfield, and we're making Elder Scrolls. You'll see it when you see it. Like, very much like how Disney do, like, with Marvel. When they're like, this is the slate of things we are working on. Now nothing can leak. I wish, like, at the beginning of the year, everyone did, like, a slideshow presentation of, like, this is what we're working on. It might get delayed. Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
It might get delayed. It might get cancelled. It might get totally shifted around.
That's where the issue is.
Happens with Marvel all the time.
Right? Cancellations is the big issue. But yeah, it does happen. It's part of our industry. So, but on the Resident Evil front, I'm excited. What I want from this is a new Jill game. We haven't had a new Jill game in God knows how long. I'm not counting Remake 3, obviously. New story, Jill's perspective, Jill and Chris. Bring them back. Let's do this. Now we've got rid of Ethan. The Rose storyline's kind of wrapped up, you know, with the DLC for people that played that. I don't want to see any of those characters ever again. Like, just let them be them. Let's get back to the dark and gritty and all that good stuff, with which we love from Resident Evil 8 and Resident Evil 7. But let's get to the characters that we actually care about in that world. That I care about in that world. I know you, Matt, as a new fan of Resident Evil, don't give a crap about any of these characters, but I do.
I think you're right in a sense. I wouldn't be surprised if this is marketed as a brand new protagonist.
I will be very upset.
and then turns out to be quite a heavily bestial game. I could see that happening.
Perfect world.
Oh, here we go.
What are you looking at me like
Here
that
we go. I
for?
know exactly. Let me stop him there. Guarantee the words Billy come out of his mouth. Go on, Crash. Carry on,
I
Crash.
was gonna say, in a perfect world, what Matt said is correct. We don't know who the main protagonist is. And then big reveal, end of the first chapter, hood comes off, it's Billy.
It's Billy, baby.
Do you even know who Billy
Billy
is?
You predicted that. I hate so much that you predicted what I was going to say.
Do you even know who Billy is?
Yeah. Resident Evil.
Zero.
Zero. Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Did
And
you
he
see
goes
that
to
That's Resident Evil game.
Did you see they're potentially bringing Billy back for the Netflix show?
Are they really?
I did.
I
I
tagged
did see
you in
this,
it.
and I saw. Yeah.
Oh, you
I saw it
did.
'cause you tagged him in it.
You-
But as far as we know in the canon, Billy's still out there somewhere. So
Technically, yes. Billy was left to leave after being let go of a wanted felon by Rebecca, so Rebecca could go to the mansion and start Resident Evil 1, and Billy was never seen again. Yes.
yeah. So Billy's still out there, man.
Nobody is
Billy-
asking for Billy.
Billy is the
Nobody.
next Wesker, bro. Billy is the next Wesker.
It's
I mean,
funny-
Billy's better than Wesker, that's
It's
for sure.
fu-
I mean,
oh,
that would be a
stop
heel
it.
turn though. Billy from hero to zero, from hero to villain.
Well, you mean from hero to villain to hero
Yeah.
to villain again?
Yeah.
Yeah, would be a bit crazy. You get excited for a new Resident Evil though, Matt? You've become like the Resident Evil fan, nah?
Yeah, but this is the problem with Resident Evil in a way of like.
How dare you? Whatever you're about to say, how dare you?
Whatever you're about to say. No, like I really liked 7, and then they disappeared for a long time, and then they remade 2, and that was fucking phenomenal, and they disappeared for a long time, and then 8 came out, and nobody else really liked 8 except for me.
You forgetting 3? How dare you?
Well, okay, I didn't mention 3, but I mean 3 was lukewarm, wasn't it?
At best.
At best. But like part of the reason I loved 8 is because I had no affinity for 4, and I didn't realize they were just doing 4. Like 8 is just 4, and then they remade 4, and I played that, and I was like, oh, this is just 8.
My only issue with 8 was always not that it was 4. That wasn't the issue for me. My issue with 8 was they didn't tie it into the Resident Evil world enough until there's one note. There's one note in that entire game that goes, oh my god, now this all makes sense. And it's like they could have done so much more with, you know, the original viruses of all of that. So yeah.
Go on, Crash.
I was gonna say, if it wasn't a note and it was like the big ending of that, the main story, and there was like a cutscene dedicated to it, or whatever, do you think it changes your opinions on that at all?
Me being me, yes. Just because I just need, you know what I'm like when it comes to games. I'm a dum-dum, and I like things being spelled out to me very much in front of my face. Like, yeah, just a nod, you know, like a bigger nod of like, hey, it's hard, because they're trying to appease two different audiences here. Like, me and Matt are the perfect example of this, right? Like, you have people like Matt that have done 7, have done 8, and they're like, I'm a Resident Evil fan. And then you've got me, who's bloody picking up copies of Resident Evil 2 on bloody GameCube for ridiculous prices. Like, you know, that, like, we're in two different worlds, me and Matt, but we want the best for the franchise, but he wants something very different from what I want.
The opposite of this is Marvel, where Marvel is now, right? Where they're like, Marvel are in this place where they're canceling stuff, they're retconning stuff, and I'm like, I give a shit. I was here since Spider-Man 1, and you gave me Tobey Maguire back in the MCU. I care.
Yeah.
But there are kids watching Thor: Love and Thunder that don't give a fuck. And that's fine too, but you can't leave me out in the cold because these kids are here. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. And so, like, I totally get that. But you're right in a sense that, like, to me, the big overarching storyline of Resident Evil has always been laughable. It's always been... this is ridiculous. What the fuck? The Wesker's zipping around the place, punching fools, and
same mindset. You can point at that.
This game is the best game to ever exist.
I was going to say, don't say you don't disagree, but
and for people who don't know, I am tapping my copy of Resident Evil 2 on GameCube.
Yeah.
So the original Resident Evil 2 is better than Remake.
Crash, that's for a whole different podcast, mate. Let me tell you.
Cool.
I just don't know. I just don't even.
The short answer is, am I excited for 9? Yes.
Yes.
But I think I will be excited for 9, regardless of what they do. New protagonist, Rose, Chris. I don't give a fuck. But like, I know
Chris is
for
fine.
you, it will matter. Like they can, however they decide to announce that game and what it is, matters way more to you than me, where I'm just going to hear the sound cue and go, it's fucking Resident Evil, cool.
So new protagonist, you're immediately out, Vix.
Yeah, I don't want that. We just had new protagonists. Remember,
Ethan
we
Rose,
just went through Ethan. We've done this. We've done this already. So this isn't me not being fair. No, we've had 2 whole games, numbered Resident Evil titles that were with a new protagonist, and he was dog shit.
Just quick moment.
Okay.
Resident Evil 0.
Yep.
Main protagonists are
Billy and Rebecca.
Billy and Rebecca. Resident Evil 1.
Chris and Jill.
Resident Evil 2.
Leon and Claire. Sorry, you're getting me scared now. Now I'm scared.
Cool. You liked Resident Evil 2, correct? Favorite game.
Yes.
New protagonists.
Yeah, but Claire is Chris's brother.
Okay. Chris can have another fucking sibling.
No, he can't. He doesn't have another
Yes, he
brother.
can.
No, he can't. He doesn't have another brother.
But they
Yes, he
could
can.
give you somebody. They could give you
That's
somebody
connected.
tangential, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but we tried that already. We had Jake, and that was the worst game ever. Resident Evil 6. Wesker's
fuck is
son.
They tried it and they made Resident Evil 2.
No, but that's not fair.
Right. Genuinely,
No, it
I
is
played
fair.
it.
No, I don't. No, because, and the reason I say this is because Resident Evil's always been great at. Think about what I've been saying, right? Two different characters each time, right? 0, obviously, you couldn't pick between 2 because you control both. Resident Evil has always been great at letting you choose between these 2 different characters and seeing 2 different sides of the same story, pretty much, right? I don't even want that because they don't do that anymore. Like, they've not done that with 7, they've not done that with 8. Like, that's not what they do anymore. They tell complete stories from usually one person's perspective, right? You might have a moment here or there where something else happens, but so I don't think that exists anymore. So I just want. We haven't seen Jill in. We haven't seen Jill since Resident Evil 5, and she doesn't get her own story. All she gets is a DLC. It's been a long time since we got a Jill game. I think we're going to get a Jill and Chris game, or I think we're going to get a Jill and Leon game, which I'm all for. Both of those things. I don't need a new character right now. Right now is not time for a new character. No.
I do think if you're Capcom, you're silly if you go new character.
I agree.
Like, you've just revitalized everybody with these remakes and putting Chris in 8 and stuff like that. Like it matters to people, right? And like you know, we're more and more in that world where you need bankable franchises. And I think to a certain extent, Leon and Chris and Jill are more bankable in the franchise than Resident Evil necessarily is as a brand.
I think Jill especially right now.
I mean, I wouldn't
Which
put
one's
Jill
Jill?
on the same level as Leon and Chris.
Beret.
Like, she's just not.
In Resident Evil 1, Beret, you know? Whoa, Jill, you're almost a Jill sandwich.
Like, I'm gonna be honest with you.
You don't know, yeah.
You
You
show
don't
me
know
every
Resident
Resident Evil game, and I would look at them on a screen. I wouldn't know which one Resident Evil 1 is.
Okay, it's okay, Crash.
I mean, look, if Capcom was smart, they'd make it Billy, and they'd you know, all those clips of people fucking
Freaking
real
out.
fucking nerds going, it's fucking Billy, it's fucking Billy.
I'd freak out. That's the only way
You wouldn't recognize him.
Yeah, we watch it.
You
Like, if
wouldn't
we're watching
recognize
a
him.
conference and they announce it, and I see
Anyway.
Billy, I want you to know I'm gonna pop off more than Fix.
Yeah, true.
It's all pointless anyway, because the next Resident Evil game is, of course, the My Xbox and Me D&D Resident Evil game, and that we'll see what happens there.
Look, we'll get to it. I promise you we haven't forgot about our goals, but this is the first time I've seen Matt in like 10 months, all right?
I know, it's my fault.
Let's blast through these next few real quick. Sega's new Crazy Taxi game will be an open world and massively multiplayer. Matt, you were talking about this before the show. So where you at with this? You excited?
Yeah, fucking go for it. Why not? Like, it's like when Tetris 99 hit, right? It's like, what can we do to revitalize this thing? Throw everybody in the same world? Make it feel like, you know, old school arcade racer, Burnout, Takedown, or fucking Hit and Run or something? Yeah, go for it. But nobody cares enough about the Crazy Taxi as a franchise to keep it pure. Just do whatever the fuck you want to do with it. Looks cool. I'm down.
No, I 100% agree with you, by the way. I think the idea of like a Crazy Taxi world game where there are multiple people getting in your way at the same time of you trying to do your drop-offs and things like that. 100%. Bank it, send it in.
It also works well as a battle royale. I don't necessarily think that's what they're going for, but like the whole point of Crazy Taxi was you had this constant timer ticking down, and if you let it run out, you're done, you're out. And so you could absolutely do that in a battle royale. Start the thing with 60 people or 100 people, and then people's timers are ticking out, and you could even, if you manage to bank a bunch of time, go around and try and mess people up, ram them into the corner and stuff, and then make their clock run out. I think it's a cool idea. But anyway, however they do it, I'm down.
Crash?
Give me more Crazy Taxi.
Go on, finish. Go on.
I was gonna say the soundtrack is important. Like that actually matters. Like in the same way it does in Tony Hawk and skate games and stuff like that. Like your soundtrack matters here, and so you need to figure that out. And if it's an online thing that you want to keep running forever, you kind of need a roster of tracks you're swapping out. I think nowadays.
Does soundtrack matter as much to newer players, younger players?
Probably not. It's a nostalgia thing, right?
Yeah, I think so.
No, you're right, Crash. It's just upsetting that you're right.
That's fair. You can be upset. I just wanted to pose the question because I don't know the answer to that.
You're not wrong.
Are you excited for a new Crazy Taxi multiplayer, Crash?
Oh.
Yeah, okay. I thought so.
Figures.
Next up, last piece of news we'll do for this week. A number of Assassin's Creed remakes are planned. This comes from Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot has confirmed. Not much to go off of this, but we can talk about it. New Assassin's Creed remakes. How do we feel about those, Matt? Excited for an Assassin's Creed 1 remake?
Look, yes, but I have to say that with some kind of self-awareness that, I was crying out for them to go back to old school Assassin's Creed. They made Mirage, and I haven't touched it yet. And I keep meaning to, and I want to, but I'm the biggest hypocrite in the world, right? If I go I didn't like the change you made with Origins and Odyssey and Valhalla. I want you to go back to old school Assassin's Creed. And they were like, okay, here it is. And I'm like, yeah, but I haven't got time to play it. I'm the worst. So, yes, I would be excited for this. I could imagine myself playing an Ezio trilogy remake. I don't know if I'd really be excited for any of the, apart from Assassin's Creed 1, I guess. But that would be a couple of hours of nostalgia, and then I'm probably done with it. When you're pumping out as many games as the Assassin's Creed franchise does, do people even have time to catch their breath and want a remake? Probably not, right?
I think.
Oh, please.
I was gonna say I think it depends because we don't really know what Ubisoft's version of a remake is yet. We saw what it was gonna be with Prince of Persia. Have they done any remakes other than that? No. We saw what it was going to be with Prince of Persia. That's gone in the back burner. With Capcom, especially after the latest thing, we know what remakes are for them, right?
Yeah.
The difference between remakes and remasters. So for me, what is a remake and what exactly are they talking about? Are they talking about up-res graphics? Or are they talking about hey, we're going to go and modernize this game in a very significant way?
I feel like it's the latter there. I do think it's they're going to go in and do a Resident Evil type remake. Which is, I think, is very exciting. I think, especially for somebody like me, right, who I enjoy these bigger open world Assassin's Creed games. Obviously, really enjoyed Origins, as most people know. I think they can, if they can just time it well, right. I agree with you, Matt, on terms of AC fatigue and things like that, right? But I do think someone like me who loves Assassin's Creed, I'm down for a new Assassin's Creed every year, but it's the way you time it. If you can give me Shadows, I'm just using this as an example, right? And then you hit me with Remake, and then you give me, what's the witch one that we know is coming? Hex. Boom. And then we get Assassin's Creed 2 Remake. I'm not saying year after year after year, but I'm just saying if that's how the pattern works,
that's the cadence. Yeah.
I could go for that. I don't think I could go for big Assassin's Creed game, remake. Big Assassin's Creed game, remake. I think there's a right way to do that, and obviously there's smarter people than myself that are in the offices probably talking about this and figuring it out. Because I do think you can definitely oversaturate a market with a game, and Assassin's Creed has never done that. It's never been a Call of Duty where we see it every year. You know, like usually there has been you had that period there where but that hasn't. I'm talking about
like Syndicate
now,
period,
right?
yeah.
Because you had Syndicate, you had Brotherhood, you had Unity, you had Rogue. Then you had the DS game. You had like there was a period there where it became a bit too much in for me, in my opinion. But I feel like they've done a good job of taking a step back and going, okay, let's develop, let's put something out, let's enjoy it. What was the last bad Assassin's Creed game?
Probably Syndicate. And you can even argue if Syndicate was bad.
I was going to say, I'm not sure they've, ever been in a bad Assassin's Creed game. I mean, I'm sure some of the
I would have said
spin-off
Unity,
mobile games.
But only because I played it at launch when it was broken as hell.
And people fucking
love
Unity now.
Yeah, no, I know.
Love Unity now.
The parkour in Unity is so good.
Yeah.
The crowd, there's like good stuff. Even Unity, if you look at like the bad things, there are good things about Unity still.
People say 3 was lackluster, but I think 3 is really interesting, like from a story perspective. Like, really?
Never played
3 at the time.
I heard the tutorial like 10 hours long.
Yep. I think that's the biggest, like the worst thing about that game.
Yeah.
You go through a 10-hour tutorial for them to give you another tutorial.
Yeah. But there's also a really great like early twist in the story. It's great.
But that's why
the second tutorial.
That's why a remake would be amazing though, right? Like for me, for someone like me who you can go back, you can retcon the issues that were there at the start of that game in terms of the tutorial stuff, and you can still tell that story.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense for these companies. You know, Capcom are doing the same thing, where it's like, it's less resource intensive. Like your story's there, like all these things are already there. You've already got the seed. You can modernize it, and it's gonna perform better than something like a Skull and Bones, which is a massive risk, right? Like a Black Flag remake. Fuck me, that's what people wanted, right? That's why you thought you had that seed to make that new thing.
Do you think this more or less confirms the Black Flag's remake rumors?
Yeah. I think that's where Ubisoft might stumble on this. Is I think they don't remake it from 1. I think Black Flag
every game company
first.
does that. Look at Metal Gear right now. To me, like, don't get me wrong, Snake Eater game I'm super excited to go back and play. But the fact that we haven't started with Metal Gear Solid to then go into Sons of Liberty, to then go into 3. I'm like, okay, Resident Evil kind of made sense because, like we say, they've already remade Resident Evil 1. So it was like, well, we've already done that before. Do we really need to do that again? And then we get 2. So, yeah, like...
It kind of makes sense, but I doubt that Capcom's decision for remaking 2 was because they already remade 1.
The reason they've remade 2 is because of money, and they needed to get back fanfare.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that's why they would do Black Flag as well, or whatever game they would do.
There's a projection somewhere that says this will be the most profitable one. Get that out the door first. And so, maybe it's Black Flag, maybe it's 2. I don't know, but I would assume Black Flag's gonna be the first one.
Today?
Maybe.
I'm just talking about from like me. Like I remember playing Assassin's Creed 1 and being like, I like this, but I don't love this. And then playing Assassin's Creed 2 and being like, holy smokes, this is the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but my whole thing is that if you're trying to sell this like a brand new people, the reason Assassin's Creed 2 was as big as it was because it was literally an improvement on every front of Assassin's Creed 1, right? Mm-hmm. Nowadays, if you're looking at, you're just putting up posters and you put up a poster of a pirate and you put up a poster of Assassin's Creed 2, the pirate's going to win. That's just how it is. I think from a marketing perspective, and you're looking to upsell it and possibly like be like, hey, we want to make more remakes and invest people back into Assassin's Creed, I think you go with Black Flag.
It is also a thing of if you remake 1, how do you modernize that in a way that feels satisfying, right? Without losing what Assassin's Creed 1 was. Whereas Black Flag is still what people expect from Assassin's Creed. It's still a big open world. You got your ship combat. You got you're building up your settlement aspects of it and all those things that are still in modern day Assassin's Creed games. Like, you haven't got that much of a leap, right? Whereas Assassin's Creed 1 basically had like 4 mission types that you did over and over again, and then you assassinated a dude. So like, and it had kind of an open world, like a semi-open world, I guess is what you'd call it.
Yeah.
And so like, what do you do? Like, how much do you overhaul Assassin's Creed 1 to quote unquote modernize it and have modern Assassin's Creed audience be satisfied with the end result? With Black Flag, at least you can basically remake, like you can basically remaster it, and people will be satisfied with it. I also because think it's a more modern game. Sorry, Craig.
One's too close to Mirage to release right now.
But then maybe that's the argument as to why.
This, right? We're getting Shadows. You got to pick. Yeah. So Shadows will be out. I'm sure Hex will be out before we see one of these remakes as well. So
do you think?
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
Unless it's already been in development for years and like they're just coming out and talking about it now. Like, but I don't feel like that's the case. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Also, if you go with Assassin's Creed 1, you kind of lock yourself narratively just because of the way the stories work, that you have to go from 1 to 2 to not Unity.
You can't jump from 1 to 4
to Revelations to 3. Yeah, you can't jump around. Where if they go Brotherhood first, then they can not Brotherhood. If they go with Black Flags first, they can sort of jump wherever they want into the puzzle without it being, because you can't just jump into like Brotherhood. It just wouldn't make sense in any sort of way.
Yeah. No,
you're right. You're right.
I do agree. Crash, guess that game time, my friend.
Yes, Guess That Game is the show where one of the hosts picks a game and the other two will ask yes or no questions. The person who has picked the game, which is me this week, will answer. They have 1 minute and 30 seconds to ask questions to ascertain whatever the game is. I already have my game picked. Let me move it over so you guys can't see it.
We can't see you guys
no chances.
We always say this. Let me just run through the points for Matt because he hasn't been here, right? We have Crash. Matt, you been listening to the show? Be honest.
No, not this time. Wow. I've been too busy. I listened to a little bit of the last episode, but no, I've dropped the ball. I apologize, everybody.
Bro, if I'm ever not on this show, I'm never listening. Are you crazy? No, I'm joking. Crash on 7 points. Matt, you are on 3 points. Despawn on 4 points, and I am on 5 points.
The way we're gonna do this is Matt Fix.
Okay.
For turns, I'm going to show it on start, and then I'm going to put my phone. I'm not going to hold my phone up to the camera.
Is it an Xbox 360 game?
No.
Xbox One game.
Yes.
Is it currently on Game Pass?
Yes.
Is it Xbox exclusive?
No.
Is it a first-person game?
No.
Third person?
Yes.
Yeah.
Action adventure genre?
Yes.
Oh. Female protagonist?
No.
Multiple protagonists?
No.
Did it launch early on the Xbox Series? Xbox One life cycle?
No.
Not an early title. Okay.
Holy shit! What the fuck is this game?
No publisher.
Does that have multiple entries in a franchise?
No.
EA?
Nope.
Did it have any famous Hollywood actors in it?
Oh god.
I don't believe so.
Capcom?
Okay.
Nope.
Oh wait.
Ubisoft?
Nope.
Is it one of the big 3 publishers?
Nope. Wait. What are the big 3 publishers? The answer's gonna be no, so don't even bother. No.
Platformer?
No.
Oh god.
Oh my god, I'm so stuck.
You're doing a Despawn, hurry up!
I know.
Out of time. I'm gonna let you both ask one more question because you guys got no clue whatsoever.
Multiplayer?
Nope. Single player. Matt, I'll let you ask one more question after Fix asks his next question because I think you guys need the help.
Jeez Louise. Is it an open world game?
No.
I have a guess that I don't feel great about. I'm
Bro,
trying to figure out
we
what
got
question.
nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, we got nothing, eh? What do we know? Let's go through what we know, Fix. We know it's an Xbox One game.
Yep.
Not that early on in the Xbox One life cycle, but God knows what that means.
Well, why it launched
not Ubisoft. It's not Capcom. It's not EA.
Yep.
It's a third-person action-adventure game, but he was kind of iffy on the old action
on the third person.
More
Yeah.
action, less adventure, I'd say.
Okay.
Not a female protagonist.
No.
Not multiplayer. Not multiple protagonists.
We didn't even get if it's a human.
We didn't, which is helping me, maybe. I mean, God knows if I'm right.
Go on, just go. Go for it. Go on.
You guys both have guesses? I'm going to need you to lock in Fitz. You got 5 seconds.
I'm good.
5,
I'm ready.
4. Okay, give me your guesses.
Contrast.
Hold on. Contrast.
Oh.
Okay.
Matt, you had a guess,
yeah.
you said?
I did, but I fucked it because it's a 360 game, which we established it's not. I thought it came out a lot later.
What was you going to say?
I was going to say Enslaved.
Okay, well.
But instead, I will say it's fucking Hitman.
Chris, is it a fighting game?
No.
Okay, go on.
So I just want to point out, asking just Xbox One is a really weird
It's a really
question
stupid
to ask.
question. It's a really stupid
Because
question.
it's also on the Series S and X.
Of course it is.
It is Lies of P.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It came out on the Xbox One?
Yep.
Is it?
Fuck off, did it?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Did it?
At least for Mac OS, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Windows, Xbox One,
Oh,
and
you're right.
Xbox
On the
Series
box,
X
it says
and
it.
S.
Xbox
Oh.
Series X, Xbox One. Yeah.
I would never have got that because that totally threw me off. I would never have thought that game came out on the last generation of consoles.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
You guys weren't like when you asked the "Are they human?" thing. I thought Matt might have had a chance of getting it, but
Well, that sucks.
no.
Okay,
Damn.
well, the points stayed the same. 7 to Crash, 3 to Matt, me, Despawn 4, me on 5. Let's jump into Fix This Up before we get out of here. Remember, you can email in myxboxandmepodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on the Discord or hit us up on Twitter at myxboxandme. First question comes from Eldozo. It says, what are your thoughts about the breaking news, maybe not so breaking by the time the podcast records, of xCloud coming to Amazon Fire Stick? We already spoke about that. Hopefully everything we said on that is enough for you, Eldozo. Next up comes from Wheelie Average, who says, as you had no questions last week, I have a hypothetical one for you. We see PlayStation taking Lego Horizon multi-platform, and everything they've said suggests that it will eventually have more platform releases, with them usually following Xbox's lead with these kind of moves just years later. So my question is, when PlayStation go further into multi-platform in years to come, how likely do you think it is the wider gaming community look back on Xbox shift to more platforms and think, actually, they were right and this is a good thing? As a bonus, we'll do the bonus question afterwards. Great question, by the way.
I don't.
Go on, please. Elaborate.
I think at the time, if you look at it in a vacuum and you always look back to when Xbox made the decision, it'll always be viewed as a bad decision. I don't think the decision to go multi-platform, I think if it's dulled down, people don't talk about Xbox games are on PC the way they used to. But I don't think that sort of conversation piece is there the way it is, the way it was. I don't think they'll ever view that and that was the correct move. That was the right move. I think they'll just move forward and it'll become the norm. I don't think you don't retroactively look at it differently.
Yeah. I do think sometimes Xbox are definitely the first movers all the time. You're right. And yeah, I don't think people will look back and go, oh, Xbox did it first ever. I think they will just look back and go, Xbox did it. It doesn't really matter. I don't know. It's hard to look back. It's hard to look to the future and then look backwards as well. But yeah, I don't know. I think they'll look back as, it was. I think I look back on it already and go, yeah, they were right, and they are right. Everything that they are doing is right for the company at this moment in time. Whether or not I like it or I'm reactionary to it or whatever that case may be, it is the right decision for Xbox to move forward, for it to continue to be a player in the video games world. That's as simple as that. But yeah, Xbox are right. Xbox moving everything to PC was 100% the right thing to do. And PlayStation are finally learning that with the success of Helldivers 2, amongst other things, right? It takes them a little bit longer to maneuver, and I do think I like PlayStation's way of doing things way more. But I don't think we will look back and go, oh, Xbox were right. I'll just think we'll look back and go, oh, well, look how different the industry was.
Yep. It's like if you look at the mobile space and everything that Apple does that Samsung had how many years prior? Yeah. Like the only people that really bring it up are the people who hate Apple. It's not an everyday talk where normal people are like, oh yeah, looking back at it, Samsung really did have some great ideas before Apple. And I think that's the way you'll get to it. It's like the people who really care will talk about it, but it won't really be that big of a talking point. Matt disagrees.
No, not at all. Not at all. I don't disagree. I just think like it's a slight like redefining of what the competition is. Like I don't think Xbox ever saw PC as the competition because Microsoft. And so like I think for a long time PlayStation did see PC as the competition. And now PlayStation, I don't think defined Nintendo as the competition. And they're like, yeah, sure, have fucking Lego Horizon, sure. And I think if both Xbox and PlayStation were producing games that ran on a Switch, I think they'd both be pushing games out there to the Switch. But maybe the Switch 2, who knows? I doubt it, though. It'd be interesting to see what happens with the Switch 2.
Switch, yeah, I do. Yeah, it's an interesting play. There was a piece of news that came out of like PlayStation saying how they have no intention to change anything right now when it comes to this Lego Horizon game. I do think there's got to be a conversation from Xbox's side to PlayStation being like, hey, we've played ball. Why are you not playing ball? Or do you think they don't?
It would be the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, not only are you putting a PlayStation produced Lego game onto Xbox, you're putting fucking Aloy onto Xbox. Yeah. I think that does make a difference.
No, I agree.
I think ultimately it would be a good thing, but I don't think it'll happen.
With regards to like the whole Xbox playing ball, I do agree. You haven't seen Master Chief. You haven't seen Marcus Phoenix on a PlayStation device yet. And if you're looking at like big characters for the IPs, like Aloy is a big character for PlayStation, regardless how individuals feel about it. She is, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's exactly 1-to-1, but I'm sure there had to have been like conversations
in PlayStation, right? PlayStation had to have the conversation.
Yeah, it's like how the stories come out about Xbox all the time about like, oh, Gears of War, the next Gears of War coming to PlayStation. Those conversations probably do happen, and they probably happen for every game because at some point you do have to like logistically look at it. How much does it cost? Do we put it over? A lot of times I'd imagine the answer is very quickly like no, but the conversation did happen.
Yeah, no, true. Let's tackle this bonus question. As a bonus question, why does it always seem to take other companies following the lead of someone else before people realize it's a good thing? We saw it with PC support and cross-platform subscriptions and everything else, not just in gaming. It seems to happen everywhere. Well, I think it comes down to money, ultimately. Like, PlayStation are in the lead and are making a shed load of money. They didn't want to change the way things were because they were winning. It's only now that we've seen games like Fortnite and Warzone and all these different, the way the gaming world has changed, that things had to change to keep these games being made and keep things being successful. And to be honest with you, you want to watch somebody else. We do it. Everyone does it. Content creators, we all do it every day. Like, we watch someone make a piece of content and then we go, okay, I'm going to make that, but I'm going to change it a little bit, and then I've made something else, and then somebody else is going to watch that and go, that's just how the world works. Somebody makes a move, and then the other people adapt to make the same move, but differently.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you used to need live to watch Netflix, if I'm not mistaken, on Xbox, right?
Yes.
PlayStation was the first one to do it where you didn't need it. So, like, there's always like somebody in the lead regardless of what it is. I think right now, because Xbox has been in the like Fix said, they've been losing, or they've been behind. Position. Yeah, third position. It's like they also have the luxury because they don't have as much of a revenue to like protect and be like, I don't want to lose this. They're like, we can risk more. We can make a Game Pass service. We can do all these stuff that might be a little bit questionable, but we're already like, we can already see the door for our exit if we like keep going down the path we're going at, right?
And that's the key thing you just hit on, right? Which is there's an exit strategy with Microsoft, right? Where ultimately, if Xbox dies tomorrow, though they will be in the hole for quite a lot now compared to back in the day, it wouldn't destroy Microsoft, where Sony is such a different story. So they have to be a little bit more reactionary, you know? So I think we do forget how, like, Sony, PlayStation is one of the biggest things that comes out of Sony. Like, you know, obviously, like, that's why Spider-Man being the way it was, and, like, there's so much, you know? So, yeah, I just think... Sometimes I think we get caught up in a little bit of, like, some of these things, but, like, it's just the way the world works. Like, you can't take risks without other people taking risks. And some people are trendsetters and some people are followers. That's just how it is. And you just
Those moves also aren't always the correct move, and they don't always work out. Like, always in the gaming, we always go back to Dreamcast, right? Dreamcast was ahead of its time every time. Like, that gets mentioned because it really was ahead of its time.
Yep.
But it wasn't a successful move for Sega, right?
Almost killed the company.
Yep.
So. Just like the way the Xbox One almost killed Xbox. Like, the initial plan for Xbox One, right? Like you say, it's the benefit of the benefit that Nintendo Xbox have over PlayStation is the vault of money that they have backing them. And, you know, it's questionable how much Nintendo has of that anymore. But, like, they have this massive bank of money that Sony doesn't have. And so they're able to take more risks than Sony is. You know, yeah, like if you're a caveman and you want to try a new berry, you go, hey, Dave, go try that new berry over there and then see if Dave dies or not. That's a safer position for Sony to be in than Xbox and Nintendo. Especially when you're in first place, like you said.
Yeah.
Like PlayStation are.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm not going to carry on, but yeah. There's a question here for Despawn, so we'll do this last one. And we'll save the other one for Despawn when he gets here. How many pillows is Fixer planning to steal from Texas this year? Do you think it will be... and do you guys think it will be smartly by Xbox to release its next-gen console ahead of Sony's, like they did with the Xbox 360? And if so, would it be featured...
What would be a feature you'd want baked into it?
I do apologize. Oh God, I am not interested in the what features do you want conversation. I will say that already. Yeah, of course it would be beneficial for Xbox to come out first, but it would also be more beneficial for it to be under the price that PlayStation launch at, and it would also be at a benefit for it to be the most powerful console in the world, and it would also be, you know, you can just, the list goes on.
I think viewing the 360 conversation is a little bit of viewing it in a vacuum.
That was a
360
year.
Came out a year before it. It came out. It ended up being cheaper, and Sony mishandled their launch so much. There was so much that went into play with the 360 becoming the powerhouse that it did, with not only Xbox making the correct calls, but also Sony making every single incorrect call. So I don't think just launching... Like, yes, ideally they should 100% launch before Sony's console, right? But there's a million other things that have to happen in tandem with that as well.
Not only that, PC gaming wasn't as prevalent as it is today.
Yep.
Like, I think people... like, I love console gamers, obviously. Like, this podcast was created because of me being a console gamer, right? But I don't think people understand how much the PC has taken over gaming. You know, like, my nephews and nieces don't play on consoles. They play on iPads and PCs. You know, like, that's how they play games. So...
It's interesting as well, like, the console market has become, like, the middle ground.
Yeah.
Like, premium gaming is PC. Cheap gaming is...
iPad.
Nintendo, like you say, iPad, is the really cheap version of it. You could say, like, the Series S really is the cheap version of it. And I think... Xbox probably have the spreadsheet somewhere that says, hey, the Series X probably isn't worth making, right? Like, Series S makes money and everybody else is going to PC if they're premium, and we're making money over there too.
Nah, it's definitely worth making. Definitely. That's
wanna be
worth
cheapest.
making for their image.
Yes, I agree with that. It's worth making for the brand. It's worth making for the image. All those things. But like hard numbers, I don't know, man. I think they're probably seeing massive success with the S and cloud and all those things. And I think that middle ground just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to make anymore.
It's a little bit like games, right? Like AA had fallen out, and we see it fall out time and time again. Like you see certain games that have come out even this year that have come out, they've then did okay, and now they're they are where they are. We're just waiting. So launching first is obviously super important, I think, but I don't think launching too far ahead is. And again, we live in such a different world now, where like the next Xbox gets announced, but you can still play hypothetically Gears of War, the next Gears of War on a PlayStation 6. Like, I just don't know how you sell that console other than Game Pass, which now you're telling people you can play Game Pass on your Fire Stick. They're working on ways to be able to do cloud for your game library. We know that's already in the works. So, yeah, I just don't know.
Yeah. As far as features, like I don't even like if I'm looking at console, I'm not even looking at features anymore. I just want a more powerful device. That's like really all the feature stuff, like
solid frame rate, right? Solid frame rate, solid graphics, perfect console. I don't go to Netflix. I don't go to my console to use apps anymore and watch Netflix or any of those things anymore. Like Matt said at the start of the show, we have smart TVs now, where beforehand we didn't.
I think there are definitely people who do that, but I think 100%. You're in the growing minority. Like that number is going to diminish more and more, especially as younger generations start coming into the market on their own as well. Like when you get younger people being the ones to buy things, like I don't think they're going to be running to an Xbox because they want to watch Netflix on their TV.
Do people still watch Netflix on their Xbox?
Yeah,
I'd imagine there
people
are people
with dumb TVs.
Yeah.
People with dumb TVs. It's the same people who buy Fire Sticks.
Yeah, you're right. I guess I just live in a different world, obviously, because I'm very fortunate and lucky to have in my household 2 smart TVs. Right, I couldn't imagine. Since I've had a smart TV, I couldn't imagine not having a smart TV.
Of course, but it's a significant devaluing of the console, right? Like you remember, people bought PlayStation 2s because they were DVD players.
Absolutely.
Yep.
People bought PS3s because they were Blu-ray players.
Absolutely.
Like, that really fucking mattered to the point where they brought out a HD DVD expansion for the Xbox 360, so you could, swing and a miss, Microsoft, knowing the format's going to win out, but hey ho. But yeah, like that value proposition was there for the PS4. It made your TV a smart TV, the same way the Xbox One did.
Yeah.
That was an extra added bonus for you. Oh, you don't need to go buy a Fire Stick because you're buying your PS4, your Xbox One, and you're turning your TV into a smart TV. And that's all gone now, and so we'll see how it shakes out. But it wouldn't surprise me if they start dropping these apps from like the next generation of consoles because people don't need them. You don't need to watch Netflix on your Xbox.
Let me know in the Discord or wherever it is you want to write in. Do you use what apps do you use on your Xbox? Simple. That's it. That's the end of that. Boys, that's another show in the bag. Thank you everyone for watching. Let's plug and get ourselves out of here. Matt, you've been away for so long. You must have something to plug. You've been working a lot.
I've been away for so long. Big shout out to everybody who was tweeting me to check in that I'm alive or just berate me for not being on the podcast. I very much appreciate every single one of you. There were many of you, and so that's lovely. It really was nice to know that I'm missed. That's always lovely. What am I promoting? Look, we crossed 100,000 subscribers on Future Game Show YouTube channel, which is fucking huge for us. We're knocking on the door of 150,000 followers on TikTok. And I think we're already at like 137,000 fucking YouTube subscribers or something crazy. The growth is just insane. The team.
Will you get a plaque? Will they send you? Brilliant. Will they send you one of the plaques?
I bought my plaque today, and by bought I mean it's free, so you go and cash it in. It's weird. So like YouTube, in the back end of YouTube, when you go into like the analytics, it just popped up with this little pop down message and was like, "Use your code, you can get your plaque here." and then you go through it, and it's like, yeah, $0 or whatever. But apparently you can buy extra
Yeah,
ones.
you can. You can buy extra ones for your team.
But I haven't seen that option pop up yet.
You can. There's 100% a way to do it.
Also, there are a lot of companies that probably make them much cheaper and quicker than YouTube does.
Yeah, but it's not the official YouTube one. No.
Yeah, but who gives a shit? Who gives a shit?
As someone who's been making content for 10 years, me.
Yeah, but we're getting the one official one.
No. Yeah,
right?
but you can have one for your office behind you to be like, I helped get 100,000.
Yeah.
Put it this way,
I don't give a shit if that's the official YouTube one, though.
If you tell me I got a YouTube plaque and then you're like, yeah, I bought it on Etsy, I'm gonna look at you weird.
Thank you.
I disagree.
Absolutely.
I think
you don't have a YouTube plaque in that case.
But I don't have a YouTube plaque anyway.
Buy one of those.
No. I disagree with you. You put effort in to get that channel to where it's at. You deserve a plaque.
I think everybody who helped get that channel where it's at deserves a plaque.
I don't disagree with that. I fundamentally agree with that. What I'm saying is, like, the value isn't in YouTube giving me the plaque. The value is in that we got there. Yeah. And so, like, we're going to celebrate with this version of it.
No, but I respect you. I respect you so much, Matt. But I disagree entirely. If there was put it this way, so Ubisoft, I work with Ubisoft. Obviously, you all know that. And Twitch are now doing the similar thing, aren't they, with the hearts? They got like this whole thing they announced.
Oh, I didn't know, but okay,
for watch time, they got like this whole watch time thing now. For like a certain amount of watch time, you get these new statues. If Ubisoft say to me, "Hey, we've got this," obviously it's going to be in the US office because they're the main team that deals with the Twitch. But we can get extras. Would you like one? Of course. Yeah, I could buy a Twitch statue off Etsy, but it wouldn't be the same. I want the real thing.
What if they said you can have one, but you need to pay for it yourself?
I'd pay for it, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100% I'd pay for it.
Okay.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Let us know in the comments what you do. Crash, what you got to plug?
Podcast reviews. If you guys go on the podcast, you guys can drop reviews. I haven't checked if we've gotten any reviews.
I haven't even got my phone.
I
haven't even got my phone right now, so I can't check. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was a big shout out. So I did listen to one of the episodes because you guys were calling people out for no podcast reviews, and I heard that.
As we do. We do that every week.
You do. No nans were killed in the last making of the last review, which it was a bit
that's the last review we have.
You did. Crazy.
I did.
Crazy.
I was there.
What have I got to plug this week? Nothing. I'm gonna be out of the country. Ain't gonna make a difference to any of you guys, but I'm going to Texas for 2 weeks. There still will be episodes of My Xbox and Me. I should still be on them. So it won't make a difference to any of you guys. Might even do some cheeky IRL streams because the plan is to just be chilling by the pool the entire time. So I want to check in with you guys hopefully, but we will see. I'm not going to commit to anything until, we know that's all happening. But yeah, enjoy yourself, everybody. We'll be back again next week with another episode. And until then, we'll love you, leave you, and see you all later. Goodbyes.